Hey, everybody. Welcome back and happy Tuesday. Sorry, just got to get all this webcam and microphone and all this stuff working properly. Seems to be okay. Yeah, sorry I missed yesterday, guys. Yeah, thanks, Suminda, for the message. Yeah, I've got a full house here. My brother and his wife are visiting with their infant. And amongst all the adults in the house, I'm the only one who knows how to care for children. So if I was here trading and talking to you guys and there's three kids running and screaming outside the door, I have no clue what to do. I tell you what, I was distracted. There's no way I could trade. So I had to sort that out, sort them out, sort out the adults more than the kids, really. And here we are. So when you're not fit for trading, there's an example. Don't come and trade when you're distracted because you'll make a mess of it. Anyways, all good today. I don't anticipate any child problems. All right. So we had Alberto. Are you in here? Are you? Are you? Yes, I see you are. All right. All right. Alberto messaged me earlier asking about Avinacci levels and what they are, how they work, how to put them on, and all that. So let's get through that real quick. So Avinacci levels are here on my chart. As you can see, my screen is sharing. It's the 8 a.m. candle on the 30-minute chart that I use. Get the low and the high of that candle, and you measure that distance, and then you draw lines further up and further down on your chart at the same distance. And these lines are places to open a trade, to put risk on. That's where I'm looking for an opportunity if the price gets there and if it behaves in a way I like, pattern wise. But as far as the levels are concerned, that's it. That's all they are. So let me know if you have any questions about that. It's just, once again, the 8 a.m. candle. I use a 30-minute chart, 8 a.m. candle, high and low, same distance up and down. Nothing else to it. Yeah, Alberta, go ahead.
Hello, Avi. My question is the setting the levels. Is the all of the ranges are going to be setting up based on the 830 level? I'm not clear about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm using these levels. Now, you can think of them as ranges for sure, but the whole point is, at least for my trade book, I will take a trade if I find a setup at these levels. So even though the levels are there, doesn't mean I'll just take a trade if the price gets there. The price has to first get to one of these levels and then give me a setup that I like on candlesticks. So I'm looking for candlestick patterns. And I'm only going to open trades at these levels. So that's the indicator I use to open trades. There's others who use different things, like people use moving averages as places to open trades, or cam pivots, or previous days levels, or whatever, or weekly chart levels even. I just choose to use these ones. These are the ones I rely on. Does that make sense?
Yes, but for me, trying to be clear in that is, if I understood correctly, the level should be based, the maximum, all of the level are going to be setting up based on the 8 a.m. candlestick, and all of the rest is going to be the same.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay.
And the 8 a.m. one, it's a new one every day, of course. So the levels are different every day because every day has a
exactly. Thank you very much, Avi.
Sure, absolutely, no problem. So there you go, guys. So that's one thing I wanted to also bring to everyone's attention here. You got questions? This session is a good time to bring these things up, or at least you can message me or message in the group before the session, and we can talk about it before the open or during the session later on too. This all gets recorded, so it's useful for everyone. Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. Concerning these voodoo levels here, when you have a big economic impact, like the CPI this morning, and the subsequent bar, the candle, it basically trumps the previous one. Should you not move your levels to the most impactful bar, the 830 CPI?
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, I choose not to. So here's the thing. If you're going to do that, if you're going to base your levels on basically the most impactful candle, then I recommend don't use these levels, which are just measured moves. So I'll take it off right now. And if you're just looking at this price action so far today in the pre-market, I'd probably put a level just about there. Another one, I'd say about there. Probably lower. There you go. See that? That one never closed below that. So that's the range you'd work with. And then you go from there. And in this case, when I used to do this, putting levels by hand, then I'd use the liquidity and moving averages as well, mostly liquidity, to identify targets if I'm trading off of these. So there's two different philosophies, and I don't recommend mixing them up. Keeping it simpler is better. And the problem I have with doing levels by hand in general, the reason I stopped, is because I can put a level anywhere I want to based on my mood. If I'm feeling aggressive to take a trade, I'll just put a level approximately where the price is now, and I'll find a justification for it. Our minds are funny, they play tricks on us. So I prefer levels that are very well defined and there's no wiggle room. It is where it is on the chart, and that's it. Don't mess with it. If it doesn't give you an opportunity, no big deal. Come back the next day. So that's my thinking. But there's nothing wrong with what you're suggesting there. I just recommend don't mix up two different philosophies. Now you got two different things on your chart, and then you're trying to take a trade, especially after you've had a couple of losing ones. You're going to find yourself in some trouble. So those are things to think about.
Yeah, thanks, Avi. I just wonder if you put some sort of priority on these big impacts, but I agree with you, and your answer is clear. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Yeah, Rahman, go ahead.
Hey, just a quick question. If you look at the 8 a.m. level compared between the SPY and the QQQ now, the QQQ is much larger. Is that a level that you would still consider trading from one level to the next?
Yeah, so any trading I do, my strategy is just one level to the next. Now, I just trade the SPY options. I don't trade the Qs. But if you're trading this strategy, I've used it on the Mag 7 and the SPY. I never really traded the Qs much, but I haven't seen a problem with it. It could work just fine if you want to trade that instrument. No big deal. And what you'll find actually with these levels on these Mag 7, like you have 7 or 8 tickers, they're going to be all over the place with them. And when the levels are too close together, don't touch it, or find a way to skip levels, which again is more complicated. I'd rather just avoid it. So if Meta's levels are too tight, don't even bother with it. Go and look at something else that the levels they look like they got some room to make some money. Otherwise, what's the point?
Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking at Tesla as well, and that level is very tight.
Yeah. So when I used to do that, I got into the world of skipping levels, but then it gets more confusing and more complex. How many levels do you skip? How big is it going to go today? And you know what? Forget it. I never really have these problems on the SPY. I haven't yet. So I'm just happy to trade this. Nice and simple.
Hey, are you recording this morning?
Yeah. These sessions are all recorded. This is recorded as well. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Maybach, what are you saying? Avi levels tight today. Let's see. On the SPY, what do we have? About $1. Yeah, it is a little tighter than usual. But that's relative. I think we've had a couple of massive candles so far in the pre-market, so it looks small. The levels look tight. But, take it this way. Go into the 1-minute chart. You find an entry near your level, you still can nail down 5-1 to the next level, without too much fuss, really. Just wait for your setups. So looking at it today, so far, I don't see anything setting up. Look at this messy, choppy, disastrous price action. So far, there's nothing. No setup. And what's a shame is yesterday it looks like would have been a huge trade. Oh, man. Totally missed out yesterday. You guys were all here, huh? Let's put these levels on for yesterday and see what it looked like. Which one's 8 a.m.? This one. So the levels yesterday were... All right. So the pre-market, you have these lows getting higher. You have a flat top. So I'm looking at a fairly decent ascending wedge here. The breakout happened in the pre-market. The entry would have been, I'd give you an hour and a half of opportunities to find an entry at 622.31 right here. And then you're going for the next level up. Man, yesterday would have been big. Eesh, I just wasn't here. Yeah, well, these things happen.
Yeah, I was surprised that people didn't take that trade because I don't know, I'm not used to the Fibonacci level, but I saw the consolidation there, pullback, and yeah,
it really went, and it really went to the next level up too, which was
it's really nice.
Oh well, yeah, you guys should take these, man. You don't have to wait for me to show up. Just take them.
Can't take it without you.
Hi, Avi. What would you be looking for today on SPY?
Today, SPY looks like a mess. Today's the day not to show up. Yesterday was the day to be here. So,
all right, I'm signing up.
Yeah, go take it. Look, there's a sunset out there. I'm gonna go surfing. Just nothing to do here. But no, it's a mess so far. Never know what's going to happen later. So just keep an eye on it and see what happens. Let's look at the news. I believe there's some action on the news here. Yeah, Alkis, go ahead.
Hi, Avi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your take on NVIDIA and AMD? As there are some breaking news on NVIDIA that they're going to continue the sales to China, and at the same time they are, they have already done their breakout.
Yeah. So as far as the Avi levels are concerned, I don't see a good setup at all. Actually, I'm seeing lower highs, which is indicative of a push down to begin with. But when you have something like this, I think you'd be more interested in scalping the open. This thing's got a gap. It's got a catalyst. It's probably got lots of volume. This is where your scalping strategies come into play, your ORBs and using liquidity and moving averages and volume and all of those sorts of things. VWAP, 1 minute ORB, 5 minute ORB, wait for those. I would suggest those strategies would probably be useful at the open on something like NVIDIA.
Perfect. Thank you, Avi.
Yeah. AMD, yeah, same story. Nothing new. As far as my strategy is concerned, it looks a little better on AMD, but still, this thing's probably going to jump right through these levels very fast because of the volatility and the open. Well, because of the interest today, the volume is going to be there, it looks like. So, yeah.
Avi, real quick, it looks like you have a hotkey for that.
One at a time, guys. Sorry.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead. Who's on?
It is. Sorry, Avi. It looks like you have a hotkey for placing your levels.
Yes, we do have the hotkey. And once again, thanks to Ziad for creating that. You'll be able to find it within our Discord in the forum discussion. We have a whole section there for, let me look at it. So it should be here somewhere. Trading view, there's one. Oh man, it's in there someplace. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Levels, yeah, Avi levels for DOS. It's in the forum. So there's one whole forum section dedicated to these levels and how to put them on DOS. There's another one for trading view with Satch has created an indicator there. And yeah, so you'll find it all in our forum. We have different channels for different things. Cool. All right, we have a minute to the open. I don't see a setup, but let's look at the news anyway. Let's see what's up. Yeah, today we had the CPI at 8:30 apparently, and inflation stuff. All that stuff's over. What else do we have now? 9:15, that's over as well. 12:45, some sort of speech that doesn't make any sense. 2:45, another speech that makes no sense. All right. These economic clowns at the Fed are just doing nothing. So just wait for a setup. Nothing to stop you. Anyways, yeah, these levels look pretty tight at the moment on the SPY. What a shame, man. Yesterday would have been my first trade of this quarter. I have to wait another week now for another setup. Oh. Anyways, you guys know the drill. The market is a gold mine. Wait for your setups. It always comes. Always, always, always. Oh, what do we got here in the chat? Scott, you're saying the candles are small today? Okay. If the 8 a.m. candles are too small, you can't trade, then don't trade. Let it go. Yeah, John Raff, you're using the 1 minute chart. Cool. I used to use that on the Avi stuff. There you go, guys. Things are open. Roger, the recordings are within the course in Trading Terminal Module 8, I believe it is. It's a free module, so I put them up in there. These session recordings. What do we got? So you're looking at Tesla as well. Maybe DOS messed up. All right. Let's look at some other stuff since there's nothing here on the SPY. Tesla already jumped. What do we got? Oh man, look at these levels. Yeah, tiny. Can't work with this. So the strategy I like to use, forget about it on Tesla. You just focus in on ORB stuff. Ugh, what a mess. See, when I was trading these Mag 7 stocks 6 months ago or even a year ago with these levels, I wouldn't touch Tesla on a day like today with my strategy. The levels just don't make any sense. Nothing works. There you go, Shane. Yeah, easy day. No setups. Best day in the world. No setup, no stress, no money lost. All that is the first priority. Survive. Next priority is wait for the setup. If it comes, manage your risk. And then the profits come. All right. Let's look at what was in play. NVIDIA was in play today. Let's put that on the other chart here. There we go. So, all right, the SPY is there. Let's keep an eye on NVIDIA. See what we can pick up with the ORB stuff. There you go. 1 minute ORB down. You already had that indication with these lower highs from earlier. Even though it gapped up, you would be struggling to push this up right away at the open. Now, what's interesting is the fallen angel setup. You have a gap up. Initially, you get a push down, and then if it reclaims its opening price, you have a fallen angel to go upward. It would be fun. Let's see where the buyers step in. These fallen angels are really interesting. I always used to trade them when I scalped the open. Looking for stocks that gap and then go with the direction. Once again, you guys know why NVIDIA is bouncing off the level down there, 169.67. Anyone need to know the answer to that, or are we good with that? Everyone happy? Yes. No, the line is not blue, not yet. Still burgundy. Same thing on Tesla. Tesla's a disaster. Let's get these lines off Tesla. Can't even see anything. Oof, what a mess. 319, seller at 319 potentially on Tesla. It's stuck in that zone. No, not for long. Looks like it's been pushing. It's all messy. Very messy. Thought I saw a seller pushing down 319, but didn't continue. All right, fallen angel on NVIDIA. Watch it. You want it to be above the VWAP. Get to its opening price. I wouldn't enter it here. I'd wait. It's still got that seller overhead, 171.47. Wait for it. Wait for it. If your VWAP is somewhere there, you'd put the stop below VWAP if you're getting the entry now. It's still struggling a bit. When it breaks this high of day so far, 171.50, it's going to be a pop. I think it'll be a fast, aggressive pop. Wait for that. And then you're scalping it up. You have pre-market high overhead. That would be an initial target. Again, this is all scalping stuff. Not my style, but it's there. Did Tesla also do that? Yeah, Tesla also. No, not. It's hard to trust Tesla. You got much better stuff to look at. You got NVIDIA here. Look at AMD as well. AMD, yeah, AMD. Look at that ABCD pattern on a 1 minute chart. Anyone catch that? NVIDIA might be following that. Well, let's put the levels back on this because, yeah, 1 minute stuff. There you go, right at the level. Here comes NVIDIA. Watch the pop through 171.50. That would be the breakout pop if it happens. That's where you want to, if you catch breakouts, that's where you catch it in this case. What do you got, Shane? Very unique room to the left on NVIDIA. Gap up, but it gaps the all-time high. Yeah, all-time highs are tricky places. You expect a lot of volatility. Expect it to get really jumpy. Generally, you expect it to keep making all-time highs until it has a genuinely bearish day. But as typical scalping day traders are concerned, you'd love this. You want NVIDIA to do exactly what it's doing today. Gapped up, fallen angel setup, seems to be getting ready to go up. You're catching that 5 minute or 10 minute breakout. This is a bit of a scalper's dream right now. Personally, I don't touch any of this. I just prefer the big, long moves on the SPY that just make a lot of money without too much fuss. Here we go, NVIDIA this time. No, it's probably chopping around the VWAP right now. Watch that break. Again, it's attempting to break. You see how many times it keeps bumping itself up there on 171.50-ish? From the very first candle. The more it bumps itself up there, the more likely it is to go through it. So keep an eye on that breakout. Seems likely. Ooh, AMD did a retest as well. See that? Push up, ABCD pattern, breakout, retest of the breakout. Just happened in the last minute. Again, these levels are not worth it. Oh, there we go. There's a pop on NVIDIA. If you guys are scalping, it's probably getting away now from the 9 EMA. This is where you would be interested to enter. Again, for scalping, not for my style. Come on, somebody better catch this.
NVIDIA bounced off Fibonacci level though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah.
You should just take it long from down there, man. Forget about these ORB stuff. There you go. NVIDIA through 172. There you go. Fallen angel intact. Your pre-market high. There it is right now. That's where you partial out a bit. Scalping. 172.20-ish. Start hitting that 5 or 10% partial button in this zone. Pull back, bounce off the 9 EMA. That's when you add it back in. Oof. Seen a lot of scalping activity recently, or opportunities recently. Should go back to that strategy, yeah. There's the pullback, 172. It's the 9 EMA somewhere there. It's probably still a bit lower. Wait for it to bounce off the EMA before you truly add. You can see the SPY also. Very interesting. Breakout, retest from the downside, right? Always enter the retest, never the breakout. So much easier. EMD still bouncing off of that area. Fibonacci level, but also even without the level, you see where it was resistance and it broke out and just bouncing off of there. Very neat price action. There it is, new high on AMD. All very neat. Look at you guys. You scalpers are having a great time this summer. Seriously, I'm going back on vacation. I can't find a trade to save my life. I'll come back in September. SPY, new low on the SPY, new low. You know, yes, no, yes. Yeah, it printed a new low. But struggling to hold. AMD rocking. Anyone catching these opportunities? You have AMD and NVIDIA provided good opportunities. You have the SPY on this reverse ABCD. Retest of a level. Near perfect price action on a 1-minute perspective. Tesla's just a mess. You don't need to play Tesla every day, do you? Actually, I'm curious on the SPY for a double top. This will be interesting. A big reversal. No, it's not a good one. Second top's actually a bit higher and messy price action. Can't touch it. Leave it alone. Anyways, you have NVIDIA also bouncing off an Fibonacci level. Seems to be respected even though it's with a big gap up, catalyst, all that. You can still use these levels if you like. Your entry would have been, well, still no entry on the way I trade. Fun. What do you got here, Alexander? The Fibonacci levels on AMD. Yours are more narrow today based on ADM. What time frame are you using? I've put my levels based on a 30-minute 8 a.m. candle. So check it out, Alexander. Let's see the 1-minute 8 a.m. candle on AMD. Or is it? It's about the same. No, it's not. Look at that. It's tiny. It's not even usable. Look at that. Check this out. Now look at these 8 a.m. levels, huh? Try and use that. There's no way to use it. It's already gone. There you go. SPY, reverse ABCD, straight to the next level down. Somebody catch that one? NVIDIA failed so far to continue, but look where it's bouncing off of. Approximately where it found resistance earlier. That ORB zone. Breakout, a retest could be happening now. Could be. Keep an eye on these things. Now, it didn't make a higher high, did it? Oh, it didn't. Hold on. 30-minute chart. Yeah, it's failed to make a higher high. Look at that on a 30-minute perspective. These highs have been getting lower even after they open on a 30-minute chart. So the indication here is that the sellers are truly not in control. Not yet. What do you got, Shane? Google breakdown. The levels are too tight. Yeah, if these levels are too tight, then the strategy is not going to work. And if you don't have another strategy, don't go create one today. Strategies take a long time to develop and build and trust. Let's take a look at Google. What happened with it? Yeah, straight down, huh? And if you're using these levels, yeah, these levels are so tight today. You can't use it at all. That's an interesting reverse hammer. Ooh, I like this. For a setup, as far as candlesticks go, let's get rid of these levels. You have Google basically in an uptrend pre-market, just 1 minute stuff. Massive reverse hammer with a lot of room to the left near the top, huge wick. I don't like that there's a wick down at the bottom, but the wick on the upside is so massive. If you like it, if you have a level there that you trust, then your entry would be the new 1 minute low, right on the third candle short, and you're in this. So that's one of the setups I'd like to see again on a 30-minute chart on the SPY. Looks interesting, huh? AMD put in, again, this room to the left. You have this consolidation here with this hammer. So still bullish activity to my eyes. But hold on, wait. One leg, second leg up is already done here. Don't trust a third leg. I don't trust third legs. It could still easily go up if you're going to get into this. This is a matter of adding into what you're already in. You don't want to put risk on up here on AMD. That would be scary. Look at that. That's a screenshot picture right there. I mean, if I had to draw, a lesson plan of what an ABCD or reverse ABCD looks like, I would draw exactly what's here on the SPY. Look at that. Goes down, breakout, retest, reverse ABCD, go. It's very neat. All right. What else is good? Tesla not going anywhere. Here. So no levels, no nothing here on Tesla, just candlesticks. This thing's got teeth on both sides. You don't want to play with it. Let it get out of here. So as a scalper, you're looking at the low, which is approximately here, I'd say. You got this descending highs over here. You're looking for the breakout to the downside. I'd actually move this line further down even now, especially right now. So breakdown from here. This area, it's choppy. So wait till it gets out of this area. Ideally, a breakdown and won't be choppy anymore. Most likely not. That's how I read this stuff. So keep an eye on this break of low of day. This is a descending wedge in my eyes.
SPY's at your level, I mean.
Yeah, I see it. But there's nothing there. As in, there's nothing. It's not behaving right. There's no setup, no 30-minute setup. I don't see anything. There's no good consolidation for a breakout. It's just chopping and messing around over here. And so I'm just going to sit and wait. May not get anything today. These levels are just so tight. Ugh, another day. Let's see. So AMD, yeah, it's going to sit there for a while as expected after two legs. Sujit, you're looking at Apple. Apple, look at that. Yeah, grinded upwards so far. Is there news in the market? Generally, things moving up. We had that CPI stuff and all that. Yeah, Apple just in a messy zone overall. Put in that big hammer there, but it's supposed to be a continuation pattern. I wouldn't trust it. Again, on a 30-minute perspective on these levels, I don't see anything on Apple. But if you guys like the 1 minute stuff, yeah, you had an ORB. Third minute was the breakout. Tricky one. You probably stop out in the second minute and then catch it on the third minute. But also, if you want to scalp off of these levels you can do that. I used to do that. I used to scalp with all these levels. I just choose not to anymore. But like Apple bouncing off the level in the first minute, and that happens to be the opening price, which is important. In the third minute, that's their bounce. You'd go and take that one long. Look at NVIDIA as well. Came down, and when it closed the second candle, you can see there's a bounce right off there. And then the third candle starts to bounce off of that 170 zone would be your entry, the stop below it. And you can scalp level to level or at the open take these kinds of entries if you're truly reading the buyers and sellers. I read them by looking at wicks on the candlesticks. If you want more precision, you got to get really good at reading the tape. That's something I choose not to do anymore. It's just too draining. But for me, I just get enough information on the wicks off candlesticks. All right. So let's see. Yep, struggling there. So NVIDIA, interesting that it bounced off of 170.8, which is the middle of the opening range, right there. So did a breakout, and here's a retest of the range. In the way I see retests, they're not precisely exactly at the breakout level. Like in this case, it was 171.50. As long as they're within, they can go inside the range, but as long as they're within the upper half of the range, it's still a valid retest. It becomes more difficult to trust, but it's still a valid retest. You don't want it to go deep into the range down to one end and then go back out. That's not. Now that's just getting choppy. You don't want to play with that. But to my eyes, this is still looking like a retest of the breakout that happened at 935, 936. So let's see. But of course, the more powerful thing, as we all know, is Avi levels. I have to get through there first. And don't tell anyone about this. Okay, these Avi levels are a secret in the world of the stock market. Nobody knows about this stuff. Oh man, can't trust anything here. The SPY is just a disaster zone. What I would like the SPY to do, ideally, later on, is going to take a few candles, make an ascending wedge, probably at the 628 level, and then a breakout to the upside. Later today, that would be an ideal setup with the gap up.
Anybody, like, I'm not getting any data on NVIDIA puts, like zero. Is there?
Oh yes, I saw that yesterday. I got a message from Das saying that they were struggling with some data. Let's have
there's like zero calls up there, but
puts are getting puts. Okay, let's see. I'm getting. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing. Well, it's not moving.
I had to.
Yeah, this is yesterday.
I had to close my options chain and open it back up, and everything came back. Oh no, the puts are still not there.
The puts are no good. Yeah, you can see there's nothing. It's just.
It showed me zero volume, zero everything.
Yeah. Yep, I see that as well. I got that message from Das yesterday that they were struggling with just the data feed from the NASDAQ or something or the other. So anyways, if it's not available, don't trade it. Simple enough. It's going to hurt. Wait for
that was the plan. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you go that plan, and you won't have a plan tomorrow except quit. Let's see. The SPY seems to be all right. We're getting data on that. This is just out of the money. No, that's out of the money. Yeah, that's all right. SPY seems okay. Yeah, if it's not there, it's not there. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. All right. So things seem to have settled down, stopped moving around. Best time to not be in anything right now. Last few minutes, you can see things are just stalled. NVIDIA included. Those buyers looked good in the second and third minute, but they're unable to make a new high. Well, based on the pre-market activity. So far, they're not stepping up their price. So all invalid. Nothing to trade here. Not even a short, I'd say. What happened with the AMD stalled as well? Yeah. See, that third leg's a real struggle. Always is. We saw this Friday as well, right? One leg, second leg, third ones are tough. Tough to manage even if you get in. Tesla. So look at this mess. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Nothing to see here. 1 minute chart's pretty obvious on Tesla. This is where it's been choppy, where there's a fight between buyers and sellers. Therefore, that's where it's going to be choppy. I would just wait till it breaks out. For a while, it looked like it was putting in lower highs, and so getting ready for a break to the downside, but that hasn't happened. Now I just sit on it, wait for it. It's just sitting there, choppy, choppy, choppy. Ideally, when it breaks out, it's no longer choppy. Simple, easy way to stay away from chop. But the first thing is stay away from the first couple of minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then you'll realize it's choppy. And then you'll realize that's where you don't play. That would have saved you on something like Tesla today, saved you from stopping out many times. Unless you're an overexcited scalper, then, well, go ahead, have your fun. Chop yourself up as much as you like. I just choose not to do that anymore. Anyways, anyone into anything? Anyone catch anything good? Some of that NVIDIA stuff earlier, the AMD stuff, Apple, Google went down, SPY, all 1 minute stuff. Anyone got anything? Anything worth talking about?
Yeah, can you take a look at Hood?
Yeah, Hood.
I know the 8 a.m. Ranges were pretty tight, but I am playing it off the pre-market high level at the retest.
Right. Okay. Around 99.70 or so. Pre-market high. Okay. Right there. Okay. So, wait, did this thing gap up as well? What happened here? No, it did not. Just a choppy mess. All right. Generally did a false breakout to the downside of the 1 minute ORB. And then so far, a good breakout to the upside. That's pretty cool. As in, you have the breakout from basically the high of day, which is also your pre-market high, and then bounce off and give you 2 minutes of opportunities to enter this. And you're scalping up well through 100 and up. That makes sense. But again, all scalping stuff. There's nothing here that I would trust, at least with my style. But yeah, if you like scalping, that's it. The structure is there. Price patterns, it's all there. Nice drop, and then reclaim the opening price and the high. Man, scalp it. All good for scalping. Yes, very good. Nice. Good work on that.
Just trying to target the yesterday high at 101.90. That would give me 4R, but let's see.
Yeah. Well, the market doesn't know that you exist. The market doesn't know where you entered and what your 4R is, right? So don't expect the market to give it to you when it doesn't know you exist. Simple,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So please, please, please remember that. We all tend to forget that. We get into a good position and we think, yes, we're going to get our 4R, 10R. The market doesn't give a shit about you. I can tell you that. Don't take it the wrong way, but that's the truth. All of us are in the same boat. But there you go. Why Hood? Was there news on Hood today? Catalyst or something? It looks like it gapped up yesterday. Or yeah, yesterday. I'm starting to really get a feel for this summertime trading thing again. Seriously, I haven't been in a trade since a month, I think. It's just no setup. There you go. Now you're getting Tesla to do that breakdown that we were talking about earlier. Just had to pull up a bit. Still made that descending or lower highs, generally speaking. So the breakout happened so far. Again, I prefer to try and wait for the retest. Let it retest in a couple of minutes or so and then down. Similar setup on NVIDIA. Broke low of day, which is also a level. Wait for the retest and off you go. You might have a chance here. Tesla might clean up over here. And if we're just finding levels, let's use a 30-minute chart. There you go. That pre-market low is very interesting. I would target that if you're doing it. Because, well, that's post-market low, yesterday's low, which is also approximately support yesterday. In the pre-market, you can see it dropped below. It held as resistance for a long time, most of the day. Then it popped up, turned into support. So if you're catching the short now, that's where the buyers are sitting, around about 316. So if you're catching this, that would be a first target. And then if it goes through, you have even lower. You have around 313.50 or so down here. Yeah. That's basically the high of a couple days ago. Just use that. That's pretty obvious area. So that makes it about 314. There you go. Levels. Let's see if it truly holds, if it rejects and holds down there. So far it is, right? Almost precisely. So far holding. The sellers, where are these sellers? They need to be more aggressive, you know? Should have been pushing down already. Made a new low by now would be convincing. Let's see. There you go. So again, if you're reading these wicks, that's what I like to read. I would have read that wick and then the second one, and then would have been entered around 317.50, and then scaling in, especially if it breaks the low of day. That's when I'd add more. That's when I'd really put on the size. There it is. Boom, just broke. Now I'd be in it pretty heavy if I was in it. As a scalp, stop is about 318. And you're looking to go down towards what was it? What did you say? 316? Yeah, just about 316. Let's see what happens. Again, scalping stuff. I might do that. I might use scalping as a summer strategy. And then the regular stuff the rest of the year. Because that's all there seems to be available now. But no, I don't have the mindset for that, for scalping. Not anymore. The SPY, look at that. So the SPY got to the level on a 1 minute chart. It's chopping around that level. I wouldn't enter short when it's doing all this. I'd look more at the low of day, and if it breaks low of day, then the retest of that would be the area I'd look at, 625.80. Up here, it's very tricky. Well, you are getting, again, these lower highs here. So if you're able to trust that and find a place to put a stop, maybe 620, 640 would be an interesting place if you take the entry here. If I do that, I'd go light and then add heavier as it goes through low of day. There you go. Tesla so far, not holding it. So I don't like scalping. It just goes in different directions. Okay, watch the break on SPY now. This may happen low of day. Let's see. It has to first get there. 625.81. Not there yet. There we go. SPY, there it is. Now low of day. Here comes the break. Yes, there it is. The breakout just happened. And you can see when these happen, they happen with a pop. Like the price jumps, a few cents or 50 cents or whatever.
Hey, is there anyone else seeing the problem with NVIDIA's options? I don't see.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. DAS is having trouble getting the options information, and they even sent out a message yesterday. So some options changed. We're just not getting the information. So those ones are the ones not to play with, like NVIDIA puts today. But the calls seem to be okay.
Yeah.
Take a look at that. You guys all should have received a message from DAS. Within your DAS platform, there would have been a pop-up internal message. Let me see if I can find it. Tools, I think it's in tools. Yeah, internal message. No, it got deleted already. That was yesterday. Anyways. Yeah, so if the information is not coming through right, just don't touch it. It's not worth the risk. Yeah, Joseph, you got it too? Yeah, got the message. What are you looking at, Raf? NVIDIA to go back up? Yeah. Well, look at that. It went up, retested where? About 170. What was that 170? I don't know. Anyway, SPY's going down. There you go. So those of you who caught that low of day break, you got the target down there, next level down. Man, I got FOMO like crazy. I had two decent setups on the SPY 1 minute chart, but I don't trade the 1 minute chart. What else is good? What happened with AMD? That was stalling. Yeah, went the other way. Third leg, huh? Never trust a third leg. I mean, human beings have two legs, right? And we're kind of used to that. Stick to that. Apple's a disaster as well. Nothing to trust. Because that's beginning to look like a double bottom on the NVIDIA, huh? First bottom, the second one's higher. And you got a decent little arch between them at a level. On a 1 minute chart, it's a double bottom. And yes, it's double bottom's happening after a move down. So all just on a small perspective, 1 minute perspective. I used to trade this very effectively on 5 minute charts, double tops and bottoms. Don't see it there. But anyways, I don't trust 1 minute charts. No, the double bottom didn't happen. Oh yeah, so you guys should know the way I like to enter these double bottoms is after the second bottom, I'd like to see firstly a fully genuinely bullish candle, which so far has not happened. So no entry. So after a bullish candle would be something like this one, this 956 candle with no wick on the upside. The close and the high are pretty much in the same place. And then the new 1 minute high would be the entry, which usually is just the next candle. In this case, it hasn't happened. So that double bottom was looking like it was coming true. It hasn't come true yet. Wait and see. Ooh, Tesla popping out of nowhere again. Yeah.
Tesla's teeth on both sides.
Yes, absolutely. And this is where people get messed up. You see this thing moving like this candle right now, people get excited, go long, and then it puts in a tooth and drops on you. You know, that's what's been happening so far right in this area, 320 to 318, right around here. You just don't want to play with this. It's just too risky. It may easily pop and go, but you know, unless you're some sort of superstar scalper, you know, why would you do this? Just gonna hurt yourself. What do you got, Sujit? You looking at Hood? Let's look at Hood. What were we saying on Hood? Yeah, it broke through. It did that fallen angel kind of setup. It wasn't a gap up though. Let's put a line there. So there you go. That's the high, the RB, breakout retest. And yeah, the retest happened again, a little below 100. Tricky place. You want to be careful with retests. I have a little bit of a rule about that. Is you don't want it to retest all the time. The more it comes to and hits itself on a level, the more likely it is to go through a level. So right after the breakout, it did a retest pretty quickly after. It almost did a retest here again. What's interesting about the second one here at 10 a.m. is that it's higher than the previous one. So that's encouraging that the buyers are coming in. So you might trust that one. But it comes down again down there, and especially if it really drops this low and makes a new low, you know, that I just wouldn't trust it. If you're in this now, you're in this, but I wouldn't trust it if it comes down again. The more it hits a level, the more likely it is to go through it, right? There you go. Tesla being a disaster up there. You see that? A lot of people would get excited as this thing was printing bullish for a moment. Just be careful. What is it? We have 10 a.m. So we have a new 30-minute candle. Let's look on the SPY. Nothing. Had its pre-market range, broke out. A retest would make sense, but it's not a good consolidation. Not the kind I would trust. But let's see if there's something else to work with. Zoom out. Consolidation there. It could bounce down here. 625.28 or whatever this is. This could bounce. You have this consolidation here yesterday. The breakout happened overnight. Gap up and come down and bounce off of that. That could be an opportunity, but I don't really. I'm struggling to see it because I'm seeing it also. It did that previously. A little messy. So right here is a bounce area. And then the RVR has to be good, which here today, the levels are so close. I'm going to struggle with this. You straight away go right up into this pre-market chop. So I won't take this bounce, but let's see if it happens. That's the whole idea right down there. It's a good area for a bounce. It's a very good retest of a breakout, overnight breakout right there. So those of you who are interested, see the next level up would be the target. I don't know how to make money on that. That's just so small. Not worth it. Unless you're scalping, which again, not my thing. There's that bounce, little hammer. NVIDIA is doing the same thing as well, it looks like. Yeah, so that double bottom did happen on NVIDIA finally. Look at that. We're talking about it. So that's the first bottom. The second bottom, the candle printed bullish at 10:02. The entry was at 10:03, the new 1 minute high, just a couple minutes ago. The stop right below it, and you'd be going long. Again, that's just a 1 minute setup for a reversal. Very tiny perspective. Don't trust these tiny ones. But that's what I'd look at. If I see it on a 30-minute, I'll take it. Again, you don't see these often on a 30-minute. On the 5-minute, you see it quite often. I've seen it plenty of times. Adrian, what are you doing? Amazon. You're in a long. happening with Amazon? There you go. Oh, look at that. About to break out, huh? Look at that. Bumping its head up there. Watch that breakout. There it goes. It goes. Is it? Did it print a new high? Almost. Watch this breakout. This could happen right now on Amazon. Well, the high is right there. Again, high of day break, ORB, whatever you want to call it. What's all this? Amazon. Yeah, slight move up. You can call it a fallen angel if you like, but this breakout is interesting. Where'd you get in, Adrian? 226. Nice. Good job. How'd you get down there? Look at that. You're holding through, huh? So, Adrian, so what I would do is I would take a lot of it off at this area because this is resistance. And if it breaks out and retests, you can add back in. That's what I would think about. This is resistance. It's telling you it's resistance, right there. But watch it. This is a good consolidation, and you have all these higher lows. You got a flat top for now. And so far it's resisting, but look, it's not pushing down yet, right? It's consolidating in this area around 227. Let's see. You have micro patterns. No point getting fussed about that. I'd just wait for the breakout and then add back in and the retest. Let's see if this double bottom comes together on NVIDIA. It is tricky. I mean, you're going to go through the VWAP and moving averages, all that stuff in this area. It's very choppy. And also one more thing, guys, looking at something like NVIDIA, you're trading reversals. In my experience, reversals are the most difficult and complex trades to manage. They're very difficult to get in. You got an opportunity here on a 1 minute perspective, but they're very tricky because they're going back where they came from. And when it does that, it's just going to run into the same trouble it ran into earlier. Look around 171. Right here, it's going to get choppy, messy, really tricky. So trade management on reversals is very tricky. If you don't have the stomach for it, then don't do it. Personally, I prefer to just, if I do find one, I put it on and I try not to look at it. Just let it go for the target. What are you saying, Adrian? 227.61 on NVIDIA. Oh, sorry, Amazon. Yeah. So liquidity further up. Sure, liquidity is good, but it has to break through resistance first to get up there, right? Make sure it gets out, bounces off, and then you can go and target all those areas. For now, that target makes no sense. You still got to get through what's right in front of you before you think about what's further down the line, right? Much more important. There you go, NVIDIA moving. Hopefully some of you guys caught that. Watch it at 171. That's where I would de-risk it. 171 on NVIDIA, and you probably have liquidity sitting there. It just seems like it based on candlesticks. There you go, Raf. Trusting. Are you in it, Raf? You were in it earlier, right? Before the double bottom. Nice. Catching it, surviving it. Best way to survive it, I tell you. Put range orders in and go surfing or biking or whatever you like to do. Go play tennis. Used to do that. I used to put on like 3 or 4 different trades and all the Mag 7 stuff and then come back an hour later and see if there's anything else to put on. Or some of them stop, some of them are still going, some of them hit targets. It's just easier. I was more profitable doing that than scalping this stuff on a 1 minute chart. Because you get overly stimulated when you're sitting there and watching a live position. That's no fun. What do we have? 10:10. 20 minutes more, guys. We'll end the session. Then 11 a.m. I'll be in the BBT webinar room. Come say hi in there. And this Thursday, I'm doing a webinar at noon in Trading Terminal. You guys got the memo, I'm sure. Put that in your calendar. We'll have some fun. Trading Terminal is always a good time. And this one, again, is going to be slightly different than what you've seen before. There you go, NVIDIA coming up to 171. This is where it's going to get messy, most likely. Amazon still holding there, not dropping. Just consolidating below the high of day. Good signs for the breakout. Not a good sign if you're a bear and you're thinking this thing is going to drop because look, it it didn't make a lower high, right? That rejection at 1006 was that's basically the same high or even a cent higher. So this is looking good to consolidate and go. Oh, and SPY. Anyone catch the SPY? We were saying it's going to bounce there based on a 30-minute picture, right? Remember this? I'm telling you guys, this is a consolidation yesterday. Overnight, you had the breakout where there's a gap. And then all it did is come down and bounce off of the breakout area, which is this level, 625.28. On 1 minute chart, near precisely. Look at that. To the next level up is your target. Again, I'm not touching it. This is something I would normally take. It's just that there's not enough room for profit. And I like to go for 5-hour, 10-hour, bigger trades. For me, it's not worth to just put these small ones on. But there's money to be made for you guys if you like it. There it is. Just at the target now, this is where you'd be taking it off. Unless you're talking to Lovepreet, he'll tell you it'll overshoot. So you might get that. Something to think about.
It will.
It will.
And then end up overshooting a little bit, or maybe doing a whole another breakout to the upside.
Yeah, it could easily get back up in there and then mess around with where it was earlier. Makes sense. I love it. You're so convinced about it. I love it.
Yeah, because I've seen it like hundreds of times. That's why I'm convinced.
Yeah. Brilliant. That's great. Let's see. Actually, one way that I can consider taking these kinds of positions is going seriously out of the money. So the entry is down here and take the 626 calls. Let's look at this. Let's put the SPY on this chart and have this little experiment. So the entry would have been here at about, call it 96 cents. The target, let's say 120. So you're still getting a very good return. Something like 20% return on investment in the space of 10 minutes. Not bad. Just go. That's the thing about options. You can really manipulate things. You can expand the range quite literally just because you're going out of the money. So this would have been, call it a 20% return. If we went even further out, let's go to the, this is calls, right? Yeah, 627. The entry would have been here at 55 cents. The target's at 70 cents. What's the return on investment on that? It's closer to 40, 50%, right? Look at that. Pretty cool. So by manipulating the contract you choose, you actually quite literally are playing a bigger range, even though the ranges doesn't move on the chart. Again, these are complexities with options that you can start taking advantage of when you get good at or comfortable with options and how they really work.
Can you open the chart or are you looking for a trade on spot?
I'm just experimenting here, just seeing different ideas of ways to have taken this. Maybe next time I can take it. We'll see. What are you looking for?
On AMD. If you look at the AMD on 1 minute chart, there you go. It overshooted all the levels. Even before this, the one that's from 170, 157.44 down towards 155.96. Even that one, yes,
nice.
Overshoot a little bit.
Yep, even here 154.48.
Yeah.
And up here as well right now. We're all gonna make 2 or more every day because of this. I love it. And here you go. SPY's overshot already. Just a touch, right? There you go. Oh, this would have been, this is something to think about.
The thing is, our senses, we got so nervous when it goes to our target because in our mind, it seems like this is the point and it can return from this.
Exactly. That's the thing. We get freaked out. Like, for example, on the SPY, if you took the long and it got close to the target, this red candle at 12:10, sorry, 10:12, it was a pure red candle at one point, and you'd be freaking out if you didn't take the profits. Our senses, as you said, would freak us out rather than waiting for the little overshoot. That would have been cool. So, and then to manipulate the options contracts to go seriously out of the money, it's still out of the money, even now. The entry would have been here at 55 cents, let's say. The stop would have been, let's just call it 48 cents. And you put the target at 70 cents. So what are you getting out of that?
50%?
Yeah. That's just ROI is 50%. Because let's say you're putting in you're putting in 55 cents and your reward is about 20 cents. That's about 40% ROI. That's just ROI, not even thinking about day trading, putting a stop in and tightening it up. So you really risk about 10 cents and make something like 20 cents on this. So you're nailing in a 2R pretty fast, where realistically on this, the SPY didn't go 2R. It would have got 1.5, maybe. It would have been so difficult to get in the right entry and all that stuff. This is only purely because you're going severely out of the money on 0 DTE contracts, which are extremely volatile, stuff to be careful of. But it's an idea. And there you go. There's that overshoot you were talking about just in that last 1 minute right there. Brilliant. And we have AMD, yeah, bounce. Look at that. Breakout, retest, go to the next level up. You can just manage these trades quite simply. Makes sense. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, things to think about.
Oh man, HUD is hanging out right in the high of their range. Just struggling to break out.
Hood.
And
Yes. But this is not price action that's telling you it's going to reverse. Look, even here at 10:11, it printed a new high beyond the previous high of day. That's a good sign. So if the sellers were truly waiting up there to ambush this thing and drop it, they would have dropped it by now and made it lower high, not a higher high. So definitely no short. There's only two possibilities. It gets stuck or it breaks out to the upside. It could go short too, but it's not likely based on this activity. And here you go, NVIDIA, as expected, 171. You want to be careful. That's where it got choppy before. Look, 171 is basically right in the middle of these dojis right here. So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to get messy. So if you believe in your target, let's just leave it alone. De-risk it, so put it at break even now. Because it got up to 171, and then just leave it on. You can take some off and put it at break even, whatever you like. I usually just de-risk the whole thing out here. I'm at no risk left. So let's see the SPY. I'm really curious about. I mean, I haven't done this in a while, scalping but manipulating the contracts and doing it. I used to do all this stuff with the Mag 7. I've never done it with the SPY. I haven't felt the need to do it. But today this would have been okay. It would have been 2R scalp. Well, one level to the next. Your entry is late. You're in them almost away from the level just because you have to wait for the hammer to close. And then get in. Let's go even further out. Let's see what that would have been. This would have been crazy to get on the 628s.
There's that break. Sorry.
You got it on Hood?
Yeah.
There it is. Good. There you go. Hold on to that one. Making higher highs and higher highs. Keep on going. There you go. So I'm watching this SPY thing again. Gone really out of the money. 628 would have been an entry at about 31 cents with a stop at 26 cents, let's say. You're risking 5 cents. The target is about 38 cents. You're risking 5. You're not making a lot. Hardly 1.5. Not worth it. These things get tricky. It's just not worth it. To me, 80-20, very simple. The next level's got to be really, really far away. Then you can trust it for a big move with money to be made. It doesn't have that. You don't really want to go playing with contracts. It's not fun. Again, I've done this before. I just don't want to do it again. It's just too much trouble. So we got Hood. We got NVIDIA. And we got about 10 minutes left, guys. Anything on your minds? Let me know. Double bottom seems to be working. Again, NVIDIA not behaving like it's going to reverse. Not at all. This is a consolidation again, especially with this hammer that just printed. Good little consolidation. If anything, it's going to stay there or go up. It's unlikely to push down. Same thing that Hood did earlier. Doesn't look like the sellers are aggressive up there. Not for now, at least. Whoa, Tesla. False break, big break. Look at this madness on Tesla. Look at that. So the previous break of low we were looking at, that failed. And now it printed an even deeper low. But, I mean, how do you trade this thing? I mean, if you have a level there, it's got teeth on both sides. It's doing false breaks. It's still got teeth on both sides. There's easier ways to make money, I'm telling you. Please don't play with that stuff. No fun. No fun at all. There you go, NVIDIA. Let's see if it prints that new high, 171.20-ish, and pop up to the target would be interesting. Man. Day trading, huh? So you guys think you can make a living out of day trading? Isn't that something? Fuck, man. We're all degenerates to even try such a thing.
It's working for you, Avi.
Yeah, so far so good. It's been a roller coaster. It still is a roller coaster. No, I think it's very realistic. It's just pop culture opinions and bullshit like that. It's anything's possible. We're human beings, Human beings are incredibly capable creatures. We can do so much. It's beyond our own imaginations. So always have that belief in yourself, because it's the truth. Actually, if there is a truth, that's the one.
I remember this quote from Jordan Peterson. He said, "If you look into the dark for long enough, you'll find the light." And if the person in the front say, "What if you don't find the light?" That means you haven't looked for long enough. Right?
Absolutely right. I love it. That makes perfect sense. It's a really great way to visualize what you really got to do in your head. I love it. Share that, man. Share that. Write it down in our group so people can see that. That's a good one. It's a good reminder. Very good reminder. All right, guys, 6-7 minutes to go. Let me know what's on your minds. I don't have a trade. I don't see anything setting up even for now. Nothing. And in about 30 minutes, I'll be in the webinar room in BBT. I'll do that session. Come and say hi. And Thursday, I have the webinar in Trading Terminal. So don't miss that one. Again, always a good time. It's at noon Eastern on Thursday.
Oh. Almost about to pick up my peanut on hood. I put a peanut on my TP.
Oh. I shut down my Robinhood account quite a while ago. Well, liquidated it. Still open. I'm sure I can log in. Well, let's see. You were looking for that high of yesterday. You're getting there. It's behaving well for the move up. You see, just
No,
go.
I looked to the left, and then I saw massive resistance at 101.50, 47 area with those two double tops. One was slightly higher, so I think I'm just gonna go with that target for now, and then take off probably 80% there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And something like this, if you're reading the order book, look at the order book and see what you find at 101.50. There's probably orders stacked up there. It's probably an iceberg, because that's where it's been. Sorry, that's where it's been ambushed a few times. Iceberg, big sellers sitting there.
Yeah, 101.50. There's definitely a lot of sellers sitting there.
There you go. So you don't need the order book. Just listen to me. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
No, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, look, these candlesticks are telling you. I don't need to tell you anything. Right?
Yeah.
You got it. 101.50. So
yeah, 101.50. There's 4,700, 4,100 shares, 3,600 shares sitting there.
There you go. Target that. Start hitting your partial button is what I used to do with this stuff. Hit the partial button as you get into 101.45, a few cents before. And just keep hitting it as it's bumping itself there. It might pop suddenly quickly, like 101.45. It'll pop to 101.60 quickly. At that point, you hit the big partial button. If it does that. The Tesla tends to do that. But let's see about Hood. So you can capture, a few extra cents in those things. Little ways to exit. Good stuff. And we have NVIDIA. Look at that. I was telling you guys, it's definitely not a selling thing. The price action is telling you it's just relaxing before it goes. Well, it's just chopping like it did before. You have your target, 171.69. If you listen to Lovepreet, he'll tell you put your order at 171.80.
Yeah.
Me too. There you go. So those of you who are in this, hold on. What happened with the SPY? Not doing anything good? You know what? I'm going to end this summer totally broke because I haven't taken a trade. This is crazy. I think this is probably the longest break I've had from trading, as in not finding a trade in a very long time.
Avi, have you always lived in Dubai, or you moved there later on in your life?
I grew up in Dubai.
Oh, no way. Cool.
So half my life has been in Dubai, and then most of my adult life has been in the United States. And just recently I moved back, like 3 years ago.
Very nice.
Yeah, good to be home. Good to be home, and there's no gender confusion stuff around here. So
I was going to say, life must be different out there.
quite beautiful, really. I like it. I'm happier here than there at the moment,
Oh.
considering the way the world is going. There we go. Watching NVIDIA. Let's observe this little, the way it gets to the target and overshoots or what. Still got a couple minutes here. Let's see if it goes. NVIDIA just playing the range right in there. Long down there, short up there, long down here. Just range bound. Yeah, right there. And sure enough, before the market opened, it was telling you these lower highs, very indicative of what's going on. The sellers are taking over. And sure enough, the first move was a move down. Right at the open. Straight to the bottom. You can look at these clues. And again, I like to look at them on a 30-minute chart. 30-minute charts tell you a lot. A hell of a lot. That's why I don't have any other indicators. I just get everything I need to know from these bigger time frames, from the 30. It's quite simple, really. Raf, you're still holding. Joseph, still holding. You guys, awesome. It's a race to the finish between Raf and Joseph. Who gets their target on NVIDIA? Nah, no race. All right, so previously that's where I would have taken it off. As it popped up there to 171.60, just momentary, I would have. But there's a whole new idea Lovepreet's working on for us with the overshoot. Let's see where it goes.
Before knowing this, if I was in the trade, I would have taken the profits at 171.2.
Oh, that's a long
at that hammer. You know,
yeah.
It has a previous resistance,
Yes.
and it made a hammer. 100% I would be off at that point.
You're missing like 1 R just by doing that.
Yes.
It's a lot. Wow, this is great. This is great that you've been looking at how to maximize a trade and manage the trade better. That's very important. We all talk about setups and all. That's important. But once you get going with setups, and next thing is how do you manage these trades and then maximize them? So you're always learning and growing in day trading. You never stagnate. Always going. Here we go. So there you go. Now it's hit the target.
Okay, it has touched the target, but not overshooted.
This is where it gets scary when you're in it. You're like, oh, I better just take it off. But you know about the overshoot. This is where psychology comes in, and you got to fight it to trust your setups or trust your strategy. Let's see. With 0 DT options, I'm still more likely to take it off right as it goes to the target, but probably take less off knowing that it can overshoot. Because there's 0 DT, time is really a problem, especially later in the day. It becomes a big issue.
Hey.
It wants to go. It wants to go. There we go. There we go. That's the
There you
go. You got it. Nailed it. Very good. Very good. Love it. Hey, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right. 10:30. I'm out of here. Watch for 172 on NVIDIA, guys. You're going to get it most likely. And BBT webinar room, I'll go open that up in about 20 minutes. Come on in, guys. Have some fun. Other than that, keep it green. I'll talk to you all again very, very soon. See yous.
See you there, Avi.